The advocacy argument essay is worth 25% of your overall grade. This is the most heavily weighted assignment for the semester. To define advocacy is to plead, support, and recommend. The initial purpose for this writing assignment is to create a well-balanced argument to hone our ability to work with rhetoric. This will help us formulate valid arguments, leading to greater understanding of our various topics. The key here is argument. Here are some requirements. So you're going to this paper is going to be at least 5 full pages all the way to the bottom. No more than 7. The required works cited page does not count towards that length, so theoretically your works cited page will be on the 6th page. You're going to use MLA format and citations, so you can use that Rules for Writers textbook to help you. Use your English 111 composition skills that you learned last class you took, like topic sentences, thesis statements, logical and effective organization, transitions, and incorporating appropriate context. Use appropriate vocabulary and avoid mechanical and grammatical errors. Use third-person point of view. You should incorporate at least 4 credible sources using correct attribution and in-text citations. You should use these in every body paragraph. And you get to choose between classical and Rogerian argument for this organization. So for your sources, you're going to incorporate at least 4 credible sources using correct attribution and in-text citations. One of these sources must come from an opposing perspective, so something that someone disagrees with your argument. You can use this for the counter argument. Remember that your sources should come from the Wake Tech Library's website for the databases. So you should be getting this information from databases, ProQuest, NC Live, JSTOR, those kind of things. You're not just Googling your sources. So you're going to be using those in-text citations. In addition to your works cited page, you're going to use them in your essay, which includes usually the author's last name and page number. So you don't forget that you use in-text citations, or parenthetical citations is another word for them, for quoting and paraphrasing. So if you put something in your own words, you still have to have an in-text citation. Here are some examples to help you out, and you can use your Rules for Writers textbook. So what are you writing about? Well, the assignment is to consider a topic or stance and craft an argument showcasing your support for a specific cause or issue. Remember, this is an argumentative paper, so you're persuading your reader to support something. You want to initiate some sort of response or change. So your thesis must support a cause to inspire some kind of change. It should not focus on the opposite, going against a cause. I see this a lot where students' thesis tends to go against something instead of support something. So make sure you check out the prompt for some examples on how to properly support a cause versus going against it. Some other information, you must argue for a cause, but you will also understand both sides of the argument in order to pose your stance effectively, just like previous papers. Your topic must be approved before submitting preliminary or final drafts. If you change your topic, you must get that new topic approved. This is the proposal. I do have some topics that you cannot write about. Abortion is one, legalizing drugs is another, and pharmaceutical companies is the third, just because that's the example from the student that I gave you on Blackboard. Careful topics that we are passionate about often cloud our judgment, so making it hard to approach the opposition in a fair way. So make sure that you give the other side a fair shake. You should not write about any topic that you have already written on for a previous essay for this class. Again, you will be writing a proposal to get your paper topic approved, and you may pitch your ideas to the class in a proposal draft. So you are going to show your understanding of ethos, logos, and pathos, and logical fallacies throughout this essay. It's okay if you use those words, the ethos, logos, pathos, as you're also going to underline your thesis in the rough draft and in the final draft. Every quote you use should have a clear purpose. Do not use quotes just to make the paper longer. Sometimes people throw in block quotes that are way too long. Use your sources to reinforce your position. So your words should really outweigh the quoting. Do not start paragraphs or body paragraphs with quotations, and do not end body paragraphs with quotations. Your words should always outweigh your quotations. Of course, explain your quotes clearly. Also, make sure that you use attribution to effectively integrate sources. Do not let a quote act on its own sentence. So you should always introduce the quote. It shouldn't just be by itself. So again, you are only using database articles that are found through the Wake Tech website, the library website, for this paper, for the research. You're not just Googling things. So all, about.com, Wikipedia, Yahoo, dictionary, blogs, things like that are not acceptable research. Peer-reviewed research is the best way to go, but make sure you're using those databases. On the due date, you're going to upload your final essay onto SafeAssign on Blackboard. You must only use the allowed formats, such as Microsoft Word. Every once in a while, I have somebody use Pages or another format that's not acceptable. So remember, I have to be able to open it. I do suggest you check your email the next day in case there is an issue. I try to email you as soon as I can. See Blackboard for due dates because they do vary. Don't plagiarize unless you'd like a 0 on this paper. This will likely fail you. Remember, you can't use your own essays, sentences, research, and ideas from a previous class either, because that's considered self-plagiarism. So don't reuse a paper. Don't reuse your proposal. Remember that you were going to lose 10 points per calendar day that the paper is late. So if it's due on a Friday, Saturday and Sunday do count. So essays turned in more than 3 calendar days after the due date will not be accepted at all. It'll be a 0. And remember, this is 25% of your grade. So remember, your SafeAssign is going to scan your paper for plagiarism. If you've never really used SafeAssign before, what it's going to do is it'll take at least 5 minutes to scan. Sometimes it takes more than that. And then it's going to give you a percentage. You will have a percentage because you're using quotes, but as long as you cited everything accurately and in text citations and in your works cited page, you won't have anything to worry about. You can go on My Grades, and a lot of times you can see a green check mark. They might have, or maybe an exclamation point. They've changed it, but you'll see some sort of indication that you submitted something, just in case you aren't sure. So when you decide whatever topic you're going to write about, I would start checking the databases to make sure that there's appropriate research available to you before you write your proposal, because you don't want to write your proposal and then find out that the necessary information is not out there for you and you have to change your topic after that. So it's just good to kind of start looking early to make sure that you have information to work with.